And let me share my screen here and we'll get down into it. So this week or this month, it was Design Albert's House for the for it. And let me share.
Oh. Tell people who are unaware of this project who Albert is.
Yeah. So
who's Albert?
Yeah. So if you've noticed, this year we've been trying something a little different with Critique Arena. The last year or so, 18 months, it's just been an interesting prompt, a new prompt. And this year we thought, let's get people to like be able to make something for their portfolio, something consistent. So it's a 3-month cycle. So the first month is a character. The second month is an environment related to that character. And the third month is an illustration where maybe you can incorporate that character and that environment together to make an illustration that tells a story. So the first round was a Yeti. The second round was a fairy tale traveler. And the third round is Albert. And what Albert is, I guess the genre would be like children's entertainment, educational entertainment. So you have like Blue's Clues, you have Clifford, you have Dora the Explorer, you have all these characters that may or may not have started in children's books, but then went on to become animated and whatnot. And the people, you know, given the assignment to create these characters are illustrators and artists. And so we thought, well, let's run our people here at SVS through that sort of process. And so 2 months ago, it was Design Albert. He's a cute mammal that's mischievous and he wants to learn and he's kindergarten age. And then this month it was Design the home that Albert lives in. So he's been adopted, he's in this home. And what does this home look like that makes it unique and fun for kids to, you know, watch or to read about? And so that's really what the assignment was. And next month is going to be, you know, do an illustration with Albert, something that would, you know, could be pulled straight from the pages of an Albert children's book. So that's what's coming down the line. And we got a ton of good house designs this time.
Yeah, beautiful.
Hard to narrow it down to the top 16, but we did it as usual. And so let me share my screen here.
We'll say this though, that with this is not an easy project. And so if you started it and ran into trouble, know that it's not an easy project. If you've never done an environment before or a specific kind of house, because we didn't have a ton of work, but the work that we did have submitted was high quality. And so it's kind of interesting to see. Sometimes we'll do a prompt that has hundreds of submissions, sometimes not. Mm-hmm. And so if you backed off of it because it's hard, that says something to you, that either you got to go back and work on some foundational skills, or don't just say, oh, I don't want to do this house, it's no fun, and then bail. Because the real benefit of some of these contests is digging in and saying, oh my gosh, this is sort of not my strength, but I need to be able to perform, you know.
Right. So let us know in the chat what you thought of this particular challenge this month, and this particular way of doing Critique Arena, because we've been debating whether or not we continue doing it this way, you know, these 3-month iterations where we go down a character, you know, follow a character through from design to a final illustration, or if we should go back to doing just random prompts every month. We want to do what best serves the community and gets, you know, engagement and involvement with everybody, makes people excited. So
maybe we should do that as a poll and then have everybody vote, because we really do want to know which one you guys like and want to do. I mean, sometimes, like I said, it's kind of eating your vegetables and doing something that's tough for you, but you also should be having fun with all this stuff too. So
let's do that really quick. We'll do it really quick and then we'll get into it. So A and B. A is keep doing this as it is, and B is go back to prompts. Right? Is that how
just random prompts?
Yeah. Rando prompts.
Rando.
Keep doing this. And we'll just say that is character, environment.
Yeah, Sherry says, what about a mix of both? I kind of like that. Like maybe we do 3 months on, take a month or two off,
And
3
yeah.
months on.
Okay, I'm going to launch the poll. We'll do
Let's
it
just see what
1
people
minute.
say.
We'll do 1 minute. And let me see, where's our poll at? Where is that?
People are
Okay.
asking for a C option for the mix.
A mix. Well, do you want me to make a third? Well, let's just get what people think from these two, and then we can go from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll add C, don't worry, but we're just between these two, let's see what would have happened.
Yeah.
All right, you guys should see a prompt come up on your screen. If you're on mobile, it may be blocking the screen. I don't know.
Yeah, and we'll just we'll make this a 30-second poll because it's, you either know or you don't. It's not like judging artwork, right?
Dave says
Okay.
character, house, scene, random, repeat.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to end the poll now and share the results. And 67% say keep doing this.
Interesting. All right, let's try the C with the C option. Just to see. Ha,
I will
no
say
pun
though,
intended.
the people here who are showing up today are the ones most likely to vote for A because they
did it.
They probably did it.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. So let me hold on 1 second. Let me figure out how to do a new poll. So edit poll. Lee, do your jokes.
Do your jokes. Dance, monkey. I'm not a circus performer. I don't just do jokes. Let me think of one though, real quick. Oh, I cannot think of, when you're on the spot for a joke, the only thing I can, for some reason, that comes to my mind is doing a graphics puzzle or like those like mind bender kind of puzzles that you get in like a psychology class.
Yeah.
But I'd have to grab the screen. I don't want to do that. Have you guys seen the one where it's like it's 9 dots and you can only, it's 9 dots in 3 rows of 3, and you have to connect all the dots and you get 4 straight lines and you can't lift your pencil. Have you seen that one, Jake? Have you done that one?
Yes, I've done. Yeah, my kids tricked me with that one.
Did you solve it? You couldn't solve it?
I did when I was younger, but now that I'm older in my brain, like, losing those neurons. I lost the neurons to tell me how to do those kind of puzzles.
Those are the kind of puzzles that I just excelled at in school. Like whenever we get one of those, I would just be all over it because I wasn't good at any of the other stuff.
Okay, I'm ending the poll. I'm sharing the results, and 83% say do a mix of the two. So how does that work? That's going to be like a character design 1 month, a random prompt the next month, an environment design following month, a random prompt. Is that how we do it?
Yeah.
Mix it up like that.
That's pretty good. All right. Next month we'll do a rando then.
Well, no, we're going to see Albert through. We're doing this course.
Oh, right. This month. Yeah. I mean after Albert.
The illustration for Albert is going to be a random prompt. Like Albert.
Yeah, but he's locked in. Like I like the idea of doing like a prompt like scared, like a word or something, and then everybody can go off to the races. Whoever illustrates that prompt.
Do a full page illustration, scared, and it has to have Albert in it.
All right, that's not the random one then, but we can do that if you want to.
It's more random than not, right?
Sort of. The Albert sort of throws it off if people don't have an Albert. And do they have to put the house in it?
No.
You don't know, we're making this up as we go.
I don't know. Maybe maybe we just whatever. Let's get going with critique.
Let's get going with this critique. Everybody shut up.
You guys didn't realize what you're signing up for today. Okay. So here we go. We're going to do our first two. We've got Dave Leake versus Albert Lee. And
I'm not seeing your screen there, brother.
oh, did I stop sharing my screen? Here we go. Let me share it so you guys can see it. There we go. You seen that okay?
Yep, Dave and Albert.
That's right. Okay, so Dave, so if you haven't joined us before, most people here have. We say one thing we like about these. I'll say one thing about Dave's. Lee will say one thing about Albert's, and then we will let you two vote. The loser gets a critique and for how they could probably improve it. So what grabbed my eye on this and what made this, I think, so fun for me was I want to say it was really like these shapes, the shapes that are going on here, where you've got not necessarily a perfectly rigid house, but it's like skewed a little bit. It's maybe following perspective, but maybe it's just, tilted a little bit. You've got squares lined up with these round shapes happening in the hills, the round shape of the cloud. And so I just really like all the shape stuff that's happening over here with this, and that everything has like chunkiness to it. Like you could take a bite out of the house, out of the roof of the house, just sink your teeth into that. That's what I like about it. Lee, you're muted.
Yeah, I unmuted because
okay.
or I had to mute because there's a bunch of kids running. I'm at the gallery right now, a bunch of kids running by. All right, love the interior and going for a 2-point perspective. Definitely gutsy. And then the interior shot, we didn't say that it had to be an exterior per se, and so going with the interior is really cool. Love the idea of keeping the characters a tone and have everything else be black and white. So I love that. Well drawn. The scale is all good. That's one thing that's actually pretty hard to do in a full room shot like this that's in perspective, is keep all the scale correct where everything's looking like it belongs. So I think it's super solid in terms of having a lot of stuff and then still not getting overwhelmed by that stuff. A lot of information happening here.
Cool. All right, I'm going to launch the poll and see what you guys think.
Team A or Team B? I did look up just now, Jake, if you're wondering. You guys know that me and Jake are always battling to get control of the screen. And so we always say, hey, you got to share your screen, sharing screen. Yes. And so we have a running SVS joke about just the person named Sharon Screen. And and so I just looked her up, and there is somebody on Facebook named Sharon Screen.
Really?
We should all friend her and just overwhelm.
Yes, it must be a nightmare when she does Zoom meetings.
Yeah, Sharon Screen. Wait, what?
Can you sharing screen? Yes, I'm here. No, I need you to share your screen. Share it on your screen. Whatever. Okay, I am sharing the results. Everybody's voted, and winner, if you could see it, goes to Team A. Dave Leake moves to the next round.
Yep. I got some. So we're gonna do a little critique on the one that doesn't advance.
Yeah.
So we will go ahead and do that once Jake moves that up.
All right.
So my take on Albert's is it's academically done well, but it looks a little bit too much like an assignment. It's a little dry. In other words, I think it's well executed for what it is, but an illustration like this is never going to beat an illustration that has some kind of feeling and some kind of a little more storytelling to it.
Also, anytime you're doing anything perspective, and I see this problem not just with Albert's, but with several finalists here in Critique Arena, and it's this. I'm gonna do a little draw over. So let's cut this right in half, and you could see there's an equal amount of space between the ceiling and the floor, and it's just perfectly balanced. Yep. And what you want to do with any sort of perspective drawing is have one of these favor the other. So have one be a little bit so this horizon line favors one side to the other, right? And it just gives it a little bit more character, a little bit more interestingness. You know, there's houses, there's illustrations we're seeing where it's just like horizon line dead center in the middle, house dead center in the middle of that. And it just makes for a bland kind of viewing experience. So
Right.
that's one thing to watch out for.
I also wonder why we're seeing that whole front, the fridge and the countertop there. I would probably have just lost that, maybe even just done an outline to show there's something there if you need that information. But sort of seeing the backside of stuff, it almost seems like we're at the backside of a movie set, and you're like, hey, I want to see the front side. So what kind of story you're trying to tell, and either get into the room. I know there's a rabbit at the door, but I don't know if that's enough of a payoff to do the whole scene like this. And the last thing I'm going to say, that this is just for drawing in perspective anyway. If you guys have taken art perspective classes at SVS, at a certain point, like learn the perspective, of course, but at a certain point, if you walk into a room, everything is not going to be on that same 2 points. And right now, everything is lined up square with the walls. And to make an interesting room, something's going to have to be offset from that line.
Yep. Like at least move that chair to diagonally or
turn.
something.
And it's tough because what happens is basically those vanishing points move like that along. They have the same relationship to each other, but they slide along the horizon line. And that's how to rotate something in the middle of a room.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
Okay. Let's do Sarah versus Joe.
Sarah versus Joe.
All right. Sarah, this one was just so fun. So we've got little Albert here. He's a fox, and the house is a fox, and you've got like the white, sort of the white of the fox's chest hair would be like this white of this second story. You've got the garage mimicking the tail. It's just fun. It's the kind of thing a kid really gets into. Even the picket fence looks like foxes. It's got the little nose, the ears, and everything. Just really, really well thought out, fun design.
Yeah, that's an interesting problem. Make a house, but use an animal as a reference shape. I haven't seen that before.
Maybe that would be a prompt. Like this month, design a house that looks like an animal.
That would be tough. I admit that would be.
I guarantee there'd be someone who just straight up draws an animal, fur and everything, and sticks like a window on the chest and a door.
Sort of like a cat bus, Miyazaki cat bus.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to Joe's. Joe has this beautiful classic, almost animation, like 50s animation style going on here. I can almost just see like one of those classic like Warner Brothers characters are coming through like a bear or something. So beautiful style. Everything is very, very consistent. And that's one thing I think that's hard with an environment, is making sure the kind of window you designed is the same kind of tree you designed, which is the same kind of mailbox you designed. And like holding that whole thing together is really tough. And this one just is seamless. It looks like the same artist made the whole thing. So great work there, Joe.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna launch this. We're gonna relaunch this one. And let's see what you guys think. I do want to say about Joe's, I like the sunshine flag. I want a flag like that for my house.
Oh, wait, I got to move the poll because I got to see the flag now. Yeah, that's a great.
I got some angry neighbors, and that will just infuriate them.
I will tell you guys this is a little leader. I'm not going to get into the whole story, but I'm doing a book dedicated to my HOA. Not kidding. This is a dark book.
Do you know if members of your HOA come to Critique Arena?
Oh, I would invite them for that one. I've not seen an HOA person, but a rough bunch.
Okay, we got 92% voted. That's good enough for me. I'm ending the poll right now.
Okay.
And
Joe.
Team B, Joe moves to round 2.
All right, we got 1A winner and we got 1B winner.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so what can make this a little bit better? Again, watch out. Watch out. You've got the same thing going on here where the POV on this is we're like floating somewhere up here looking at this looking down at this house. So I just think it would be so cool if we saw the picket fence like coming up here, and we saw this house like kind of towering over us like that. I think that would be, you know, and the ears are up here. So I think what could make this better is just changing the point of view on it would help a ton. So it's less of a looking at it from like a floating like helicopter. What are those things? Drone?
Yeah, drone.
And more like we're standing on the ground looking up at this cool thing. So
I like that. The other thing that I'll add to this is just a small point, but a lot of times your front door is going to be oriented on the side that's interesting. And so like if the face and all that stuff is on one side, I think that all the stuff would be on that side, if that makes sense. And that's, you can bring that up at your architecture symposium, Jake, next week.
Yeah.
But typically it works like that. And I don't think you have to stick to that. There's no hard and fast rule, but it's kind of weird to have a door on the off side. You know, that seems like a more uninteresting side. So just something to think about. Have an orientation to your buildings.
yeah, I guarantee if I lived in this house, I'd be like, let's switch these two. I don't want to have to park here and walk all the way around backwards this way.
Right. That's a cool concept and great silhouette too. I mean, I love that. I love that concept of
Yep.
of the animal house.
All right, we got Rachel versus Ellen. Rachel versus Ellen. Okay, so this one is so unconventional compared to a lot of the other entries that we got. And what I love about it is this this almost what's the style, Lee? It's kind of like there's a folkiness to it. Is that what?
It's a good term. Yeah.
Yeah.
Folk
Where-
art.
You know, where we've got like, you could see the scratchiness of the pencils in it. It's okay to have scribbles in there, but compositionally it's very mature. You know, the use of we've got like little cutout pieces of paper, collage type of stuff happening here is very cool and fun. So I guess what I like is just the execution of this thing, and it's a cool design too, you know.
Yep. Yeah, well done. This is Ellen's gorgeous little piece. Again, I'm getting these are fit perfectly like a storybook style. It's all super consistent. I like how the characters have like a little bit of pop to them, even though it's supposed to be about the environment this time. The little detail of the tied together socks is just such a nice moment. I love having just a clean facade and then breaking that pattern like she did here with the socks coming out. It just leans itself to storytelling. I would actually love to see this one without any characters in it and just see that sock hanging down. I mean, that's enough storytelling for me. I mean, all you have to do is just put any kind of personal effects in there where you've changed something about the architecture for someone to live in it or do something with it. And so it just makes it humanizes it, I guess is a way to say that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna launch the poll again. Are you team A or team B on this one? That's what we want to know. Again, both examples of drone POV for these. And I don't know, and maybe it works. Like, you remember the opening of Family, what's the family show with Bob Saget? Family
America's
Ties?
Funniest Videos?
No, they live in San Francisco.
Oh, Full House.
Full House. And you know that opening shot where they're coming in to the row of houses?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we're getting here with all these.
Yeah,
is like
establishing
the
shots.
opening shot to,
Yeah.
I almost started singing the Full House theme song.
Do you know the Full House? That says something.
It's a rare condition this day and age. Reading some good news on the newspaper page.
Woo. How do you know that?
Because I
Kids,
watched
blame
every
your kids.
episode.
Yeah, blame your
Okay, I'm
kids.
gonna end the poll. I like in the chat. I feel a song coming on. At least I'm not rapping.
Jake was
Right?
in a rapping stretch for a couple of Zoom sessions.
On Children's Book Pro, I was rapping.
That's what you guys missed for people who didn't sign up.
All right, I'm sharing the poll.
Sharon
And
screen.
this is a close one, but it goes to team B. Ellen takes it.
All
Ellen
right.
takes it.
Good job. Good job, Ellen.
Good job, Ellen.
Rachel, you also did a good job. I will take a little stab at this critique because it kind of lines up with some of the stuff that I teach and some of the stuff that I do. I think Rachel's is awesome. I mean, I think it's a great representation of this style. I don't know how ready our audience is for this style. It's a very, very different look. And I don't think there's any, I mean, I think she's super, super competent within this world. Again, everything looks right for this world. Like, look at that wacky treehouse up there. That's actually just a collage cutout. I love that little detail. The scribbly clouds. It almost makes you think you can do anything you want. But if you put
Lee, I lost you, Lee. Lee, are you there? We lost him. Everybody else lost him. He dead. Oh no. I hope he's drove into a tunnel. I really liked where he was going with that. I was going to say the same thing. The point that he was making is that just because the Critique Arena audience doesn't like this doesn't mean this isn't great for the great for the publishing world, right? Like this is an established style, this more folksy, almost archaic type of approach to illustration works really well on certain things. And you even see it in Lee's stuff as well. I would say though, one thing that sticks out to me on this one is everything here has multiple elements to them. So like the tree is a mix between pencil, shading, and collage. Same with the house. I want to see a little bit of that here. Like I feel like this umbrella top could have been a collage piece or a little pop of this pink or something like that. But other than that, got a portfolio piece here. Keep rolling, Rachel. Okay, we'll move now to Aurelia, sorry, and Chris Atkins. And I will do the 1-2 critique on these, what I like about both of them. Okay, so what's cool about Aurelia's is this looks like a fun house. You've got this obvious like airplane sort of action happening up here, which is, I could see kids getting into that. I'm getting into it. You have emergency exits from the second floor that go straight into this pool. You've got what looks like laundry happening, but could also be like playground stuff, a swing or something like that. It's just overall fun. I think the main takeaway from this one is fun. And we also have fun here. This one, Beatrix Boxley's Home for Brilliant Beasties, which is really cool. It's got a Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends type of vibe to it, but still bringing your own palette to this, your own design elements to this, which is really cool. And then you've got little hints of all different kinds of what's happening in here. You've got ocean element, tropical element, science element, playfulness going on here, flight, things like that. So it's cool. I want to say with both of these, and the reason I paired them together is I think these are the two funnest buildings designs. So let's launch our poll and see what you guys think is better. All right, hopefully you can see that. Should be working. Yeah, there you go. People are voting. And I'm going to check in with Lee and see. You okay, Lee? We'll see if he comes back. Megan says in the chat, I just really want an octopus as a pet. I think it'd be fun to a degree until until it's like the cleaning day for the aquarium. I can't imagine handling an octopus being that fun. All right, 92% voted. I'm going to end the poll and share the results here. And clear winner to this one goes to Chris. Smashed it. Again, kind of a drone shot for both of these. We're high up in the sky. In the maybe in the directions it was said to do it from a 3/4 view, but was it a top-down 3/4 view? I'm not sure. So I can't fault you guys for following directions. I think that's good. But I think in illustration, when you do put these buildings, incorporate them into an illustration, you're going to want to be somewhat at eye level, like standing from the ground, or really pick a vantage point that implies where your character is from. Just be aware of that. What could make this better? I think what would be cool is, I'm going to do just a little draw over here on this one. One problem we're having is all of these shapes, these major shapes, are essentially kind of just keeping the same sort of size. You've got essentially 3 squares and then a rectangle, and they're all just kind of the same, taking up the same sort of presence, the space. And one thing that we always are trying to get people to do at SVS is vary the shape in the design. Do a large and a small and a weird and a thing like that. And look at this too. This is just way more interesting to look at than this, right? And all I did was kind of squash and stretch these two things. If you think about the snowman principle, like, oh, that's a snowman, right? But what if we made that snowman's head huge? What if we made his torso tiny? And what if we made his leg part? Which one of these are like focusing your eye a little bit more? Like, you're looking at this one because it's just, there's so much unexpected interestingness happening to it. And it's the same thing happening here. So what I want to see on this one is maybe this tower is really big, and maybe these wings, I don't mean like blow out everything here, but maybe this part, this entryway, is a little bit bigger as well. And then this is smaller. And then this slide actually goes out long like that. And we've got a pool there where you're just kind of doing this kind of stuff to it, blowing it out some more. So hopefully that makes some sense. All right, let's move on to the bottom brackets here. All right, we've got Petra versus Ian. Let me stop sharing the poll. So get that out of the way. Okay, so looking at Petra's here, I am absolutely in love with this yellow house, the color that is going on here, all these little details, and the fact that Petra chose to make the windows so tiny. This is what I was talking about up there. It's like you've got this big shape, and then you're tempted to just go in there and fill it up with a window, right? But what Petra decides to do, she's playing with the shapes, and she's trying stuff out here. She does a tiny window like that, right? And it just makes the house look bigger, a little bit more imposing, and then it's balanced with this black thing over here, definitely drawing attention to itself. This is almost like, okay, I see where Albert hangs out during the day, right? So looking at this one absolutely caught my eye. when I was flipping through them, and it was a no-brainer to put it in the top 16. And what's great about this is you've got somewhat of a conventional house design, but all of these extra little elements to it make it amazing. Like someone found an old shack next to the sea, and they had a boat, and they're like, well, let's just use these boat pieces to finish out this house. So you got the smokestack, you got the bow, you got the stern, you've got this little like exhaust thing that goes down in there, the anchor, the weather, all these little elements. And I get like, this almost looks like it could be a design for like a theme park. Like you would see something like this at Disneyland, or you'd see something like this at like a themed restaurant. So if you, who did this? This is Ian. Ian, if you never make it in illustration, definitely go get a job in like Imagineering. Whoa. All right. So let's, this is a tough one, another tough one, but let's see what you guys think. Here, I'm going to relaunch the poll. Lee says he has to restart because the internet went down at the studio he's at. So he's going to join us on phone. And I'm going to see if I need to like let him in on let him in from the crowd there. Okay. All right. I need, we got a 92% voting, 93%. I think this is the most people who voted so far on this. You guys definitely passionate about this one. So I'm going to, 95%. This is almost 100% participation in voting. Wish we could get this at election time. All right, share the results here. And the winner goes to Ian. It's almost a landslide, I would say. So Ian, congratulations. You move on to the next thing. All right. What to do to make this one, not that it needs to be better, but what are some things to like give it a little bit more, what's the French word? Juge de vivre or something like that. I don't know. If you're French or if you know that saying, yeah, bless you. Thank you. Yeah. Joie de vivre. Is that how you say it? What I would do is you have such definition in the architecture, and then it just turns like a misty cloud with the trees. And I know you're using a texture for the for it and hoping that that comes across as leaves. But one thing you can do here that's really gonna plus this is to be definite with your edges. So I'd say knock yourself out with the clouds. Well, not the clouds, but yeah, with clouds or with the sky in the background. But how cool would it be to like have little bits of grass showing up here, and maybe in the grass you've got a little bit more, something like that. This just breaks these lines in places, right? And maybe these bushes need a little more edge to them. Give some edge to the bushes. And then these trees absolutely need some shape to them. A little bit of a harder edge on them. I think what you're going to do is just give this thing a little bit more oomph, a little bit more visual impact. You could see there, like all of a sudden what that does. Let's cut this edge here a little bit and bring some grass in here like that. And there you go. All right, Lee's texting me, says he's an attendee, so I'm going to let him in. I'm going to find him. Let's get you, Lee. Let's get you in here. Where are you, Lee? HIJKL. Thanks for being patient. He said the whole building just went down. Promote to panelist. So let's have him come up. There he is. So yeah, the whole building went down. You think they would have planned around Critique Arena, but no, they didn't. All right, Lee, you here? You able to log on?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha. That stinks with the building.
It's so
I
stupid.
was just telling people what happened.
I don't know what happened. It's just the whole thing went down. I was like, oh, it's my computer. And then our gallery partner, David, came in and was like, nope, the whole building is down.
Dang it. Of course. Or it's either, so anytime you're going to, this is the law of Zoom. Anytime you have an important Zoom meeting, someone's internet's going to go down. The yard guys are going to show up, right? This is when the Amazon package gets delivered and your dog barks.
That's right. That is exactly.
It just happens.
Exactly
I'll catch you up to speed. The winner between Aurelia and Chris turned out to be Chris. And then down here we have Petra and Ian, and Ian moved to the next round. So now we're going to do Nicola and Lisa. And do you want to tell us what you like about Nicola's? Can you see it on your phone? Lee, are you there? Oh, no. I might be finishing out Critique Arena on my own. Yes. Oh, yeah. One other thing that's going to happen during your Zoom meeting: urgent computer updates, Windows updates, iOS updates, something like that. You're going to hit the wrong button, and it's just going to stop it. All right. So, oh, are you there now, Lee? He's on another computer. Great. Okay. So, Nicola, what's really cool about this, and what I like about this is, we've got just a fun kind of mishmash of different little architectural elements happening together. It's drawn in a very loose pencil style, but then combined with this this texture stuff that's happening, I think it pulls it all together nicely. So it doesn't feel rushed, or it doesn't feel like half done. It
Feeling
feels,
that background.
yeah, it feels very polished. So, and it's just kind of a cool design. It almost looks like it's we've got New Orleans meets like 19 or like Edwardian New York, I would say. Not that New Yorkers were Edwardians, but that time period, I guess, industrial New York version, all kind of mixed together. So it's kind of a cool way to go about it. And then Lisa here's, can you see Lisa's, Lee?
I can do this one now. If you
Okay, cool. Go for it.
Hey, can you see my camera?
Yeah. I'm looking at your beautiful face.
I'm working from my phone now. So this is like, it's pretty small. So I'm going to be talking about your silhouettes now, because I can only see your silhouette.
Right.
No, I love the color palette is awesome. Anytime you go to a not necessarily monochrome, but analogous color palette, it's always going to work. So that's amazing. And then the design of the A-frame. Is that what you call these, A-frame, or what else would you call it?
Yeah, it's an A-frame cabin.
Chalet kind of thing.
Yeah.
Really cool, really cool. And so you almost can't go wrong, because it changes, again, talking about silhouette, it changes the overall silhouette of what you're expecting. So just gives us a big kind of, it makes you feel like a big kid sort of being in a big tent.
Yeah, that's cool. I like all the little details too. Like Albert's a bear, even though it says Colin in here. I don't know, Lisa, why you changed Albert's name to Colin, but he's being mischievous, but he's got like little honey, like they've got some beehives there and stuff, and a little play thing. It's just all these cool little details here. So let's do the poll. Why is my Photoshop giving me?
Because this meeting is cursed.
It's cursed.
Technologically cursed for some reason.
All right. Should be able to see the poll now. We had the last round, we had a 95% polling
Wow.
polling rate, participation rate.
Is that the highest one?
The highest I think we have, one time we think we did have 100%.
Wow.
You know, the last two people put down their sandwich, moved the
Pulled
mouse
over.
over and clicked.
These are gorgeous. These are really pretty. At least, you know, looking at them smaller on my phone, it's actually an interesting way to view these images. That everything has to work from how I'm looking at it right now. Otherwise, the image won't hold together. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. And there's a question in the chat. Lee and I can't vote. Panelists are not allowed to vote. So this is totally for you guys. We don't want to sway it either way. So, all right, we're done. We got 91%. It's good enough for me. I'm going to end the poll. It's a very, very close margin. Share the results. And team A
Barely
goes to the next round.
Barely pulls it out. Yeah.
Barely. But clearly the winner. All right. What would you do to Lisa's?
A couple things. I think, you know, again, looking at silhouettes and looking at shapes right now, those tree shapes, because you have sort of a low contrast image, except for the trees. And so the trees dominate that shot. If you guys shrink it down, I don't know if you guys are looking at it on your desktop or whatever, but if you shrink it down, and those trees and silhouettes really dominate that design and pull your attention away from what is the interesting part of the house. And then another little tip, if you're silhouetting something like a background, like clouds, mountains, or in this case, those red trees in the background, get rid of that outline. It looks so much better to just have that be soft and sitting back there. So just some little details.
What if you silhouetted it like this? We're just going to do a little test here. What if it was like that?
It's better because then now the house starts to jump out, but there's still the trees. I think there needs to be a couple of dark accents within the house area. Can you try to throw in a couple of little darks in the little patio area out front?
Oh, like maybe right here.
Give me something dark. It's even that shade. I don't even know what that is because this house pool. It's literally the size of my thumb. Like it's a true thumbnail on my phone right now. And that little mark made such a difference.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah.
You see, it almost looks washed out the other way.
Yeah, interesting. All right, we got Tracy versus Megan. Tracy versus Megan. And I will do Tracy's and you do Megan. Does that sound good?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so here we got Tracy's. What's cool going on here is what do I talk about? There's so much fun here. I think what's fun is just this playful patchwork of textures and colors that's going on here that makes it fun to look at. So I like that. I like it's well thought out design wise. And going in and saying, let's do greens and reds and blues and things like that. Palm trees are also really fun too. So,
yeah.
All right.
I can't see whose this one is.
This is Megan.
Megan. Okay, so Megan's looks really cool. It's an interesting idea that it almost seems like it's meant to be cut pieces of paper on top of each other. I'm looking at the sort of the shadow from that tree on the left and the shadow literally of the house sitting on the piece of paper. So it has this kind of flatness that makes it seem like paper craft almost want to see this in like a pop-up book or something where not necessarily pops up vertically, but it almost looks like relief. So that's really cool. And then also anytime you have a tree house, it's automatically cool because everybody wants to be in a tree house like this. So gorgeous design. And I like the accenting of the post and beam. I almost think this could be like an alphabet book based on tree houses, and this is your A.
That's cool. That's a good idea. All right, I want to see what the group says about this. Let's launch that poll.
Launch that poll.
Poll launcher. Launch that poll.
Didn't we have sound effects for a little while, Jake?
Yeah, it was When we first started doing the podcast, I had sound effects for the podcast software we were using, but since we
Well-
switched to Zoom, I don't know how to do sound effects. I used to be able to do
Okay.
applause and stuff.
We need the sound effects because I would love lasers and stuff like that. Launch that pole. Choo, choo, choo.
Yeah. Or like an air horn. We're getting very low participation in this one. We're only at 76%.
You
That's
guys,
interesting.
step it up. Step
Nobody
it up.
wants to participate. Not
Step
nobody.
it up.
Oh, now I think people are waking up. So now it's at 81%.
It
I'm
needs to be
gonna-
at least 90.
I don't think so. 82%. I think it was bathroom break time.
Come on, you guys.
I'm in
People's
it.
lives are held in the balance here.
Okay, team A moves ahead.
Yep.
All right. One thing I would do on this one to improve it, I think what's going on here is this cutout paper effect is fine. It's just a little too intense in places. So you could blur it out a little bit more. You could soften it. You could tone it down just a little bit. And I want to say it actually might be really nice effect to do it real instead of Photoshop. That would be interesting.
I think so. And almost give it like a little bit of a clunkier edge,
Yeah.
which would match the artwork. One thing I was going to say just right off the bat, that you got to change the color from the tree color to the house color. I think it's getting lost in there. I wonder if those greens on the house were just turned to a red. Would the house then stand out? But right now
Yeah,
it sort of blends
you
in.
see what they're trying to do is make it look like these are the green of the tree, you know? This
Yeah,
sort
but
of
it's
that
confusing because it's architecture then. And so
effect. Yeah. All right. And is this the last? Yes, this is the last two, and then we'll do lightning rounds for the to finish up the rest of them. So we have Kim versus Mag. Mag, I really loved your Albert from last month. I thought that was fun, and I think this house just fits this character so well. I love that it's like you're leaning in hard on this dark city, but then you're having all this like light come through and shining on this beautiful, cute, like playful place. I just want to go frolic there. So really good job with using light and like texture and stuff to emphasize, to tell the story.
Yeah, that's
All right.
super fun. Can you zoom in a little bit so I can see some details on Kim's?
Yeah.
I love doing this perspective, this particular kind of perspective. What I call this perspective is telephoto lens. It's like if you looked at a city through a telephoto lens, and you're 10 miles away from it, the perspective will actually do this. It flattens out.
Flattens out.
And it's a gorgeous style. So, but it's not necessarily a stylization. It's changing lenses, if that makes any sense. And so this is done really, really well. Again, it has almost like an animation style to it, and all the detailing is the exact right level in order to pull this off. So I'd like to see a whole book done in this style, actually.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, let's get you guys to vote on this one. And it's that one go. Yep, people are voting. People are voting.
I like on the phone that the poll comes up and it just tells me I can't vote, but the poll takes up the whole screen.
Yeah,
Nice. Great interface work there. Zoom.
I know.
IT.
Good job, Zoom. Okay, we're gonna end the poll now. If you want to vote, you got 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Let's share these results. And Mag moves to the next round.
Nice job. Oh, I gotta close
Very
it,
good
man.
job. Very good job. Anything to make this better?
I think all the colors are middle value.
Mm,
Same problem as we dealt with a couple seconds ago with the A-frame.
yeah. Yeah. I drop that out and it's just all the same gray. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do flash polls for the next ones. Are you team A or are you team B?
These are really similar sort of styles. They almost look like the same world, just a different part of the story.
I know, huh? This is gonna be a tough one. It's like, do you like yellow or purple better? But I'm looking at the poll now. There's a clear winner. It's not a landslide, but it's favoring one side. It's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll and share these results.
Oh, wow.
Joe heads to the finals.
I will say this, that I know we're going to critique this in a second, but I love the idea of a cloud being a character. I'm reading that correctly, right? That's not the sun, that's a cloud.
Yeah, that's a cloud.
Well, I love that idea. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that in a book. Have you seen that before?
I mean, there's smiley faces on the clouds in Mario Bros, but they don't.
Yeah, it's not a main character.
I mean, there's a Pixar short about a cloud that makes babies.
I don't know if we need to hit that content here.
It is the most inappropriate Pixar short. I had to shield my children's eyes.
In terms of a critique here, I feel like the color is interesting, but I think it's too hot. And I want to ask you this question, Jake, because to me, I don't want to make that a personal judgment. Do you feel like it works, or do you think it's too hot?
Yeah, way too vibrant. Way too vibrant. You might want to tone it down just a pinch.
And vary it too. I mean, it's unless there's a really specific reason for everything on that house.
It's electric is what's going on there. But I think other than that, you know, and if you're having a problem with color, you know, go find a palette that's working and try to use, you know, it could be an entirely different illustration. It could be an illustration of, you know, foxes running in a green field, but you like the palette, go color pick it, you know, go try and mimic that. So you don't have to come up with.
Palettes are not copyrightable. You can take anybody's palette you want, mine, Jake's, anybody's, and use it.
Yep. Okay. Especially Lee's, especially
Jake's. If you picked mine, you'd see that I only use a few colors actually. I don't use that much color. This is a close one too. It's funny that they get grouped like this unintentionally.
Yeah.
Sort of have the Victorian battle.
Mm-hmm.
Love that little badge on the right there.
Yeah, that's a neat addition. It's fun. All right, this one, no amount of voting is going to save this one. So I'm going to share the results here. And Chris goes to the finals. Congratulations, Chris. All right, Ellen. What do you say, Lee? What do you say?
Overall, I think there needs to be more design here that is interesting. I think when we zoom in, it's done well. And like I said, that little detail of the socks is really cool. But just in terms of an overall interesting illustration, it's not going to hold up when it's against one that's as decorative as the other one is. And so I think either zooming in or like what we really have here is a decorated rectangle. And what makes buildings kind of interesting is when you have, you know, dormers coming off of it, porches, front railings, and
I mean, that was my note on this one. You missed it, but my note here was to not do this, but to do this, you know.
Right. Exactly. Perfect. So grab that same lecture and put it down there. It's a nice box, but it really is still just the shoebox sort of design.
Yeah. And I hope, man, I hope this is why you guys come back to to Critique Arena, because the whole reason we're doing this is just another opportunity to teach and for you guys to learn. So all right, let's do this one. Nicola versus Ian. Let's relaunch this poll and see what y'all think. This is gonna be a tough one too.
It is tough.
Very tough. But while you weren't here, I told Ian that if it doesn't work out in illustration, he's got a job in Imagineering.
Yeah, totally.
You know. All right. Oh, a good 92% voted. I'm going to end this poll, share the results.
B
And
for the win.
yep, Ian takes it, goes to the finals.
Yeah. And what you guys are seeing, it's kind of interesting and something to pay attention to is that the design is winning. Again, we have an interesting looking illustration here, a beautiful palette, but again, this is sort of the shoebox design, and it doesn't really venture too far out in terms of the silhouette, especially of a interesting building. And when paired against something that's styled, it's not going to win.
Yep. All right. Also, too, I would just like to see some of this line work happen in the background. Just bring it into these other places a little bit.
I'm going to disagree with that.
There you go. You got 2-point
Jake
perspective
does
right
not
there.
know what he's talking about there.
I'm the line man. I love lines. You know?
Inker's got to ink.
Yeah. Liner's got a line.
Is there a shirt in that saying right there?
Inker's got to ink. Yeah, I think there is.
Trademark. You heard it here
Trademark
first.
that. Okay, we've got Mag versus Tracy. We've got Little Albert the pig versus Little Albert the anteater.
It almost looks like the same. Again, another one that's sort of the same, except for a different part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
This is like this little character goes from the jungle to the city, but wants to bring the hominess of the jungle to the city and makes this sort of house.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ending the poll. 93% participation, sharing the results. And Mag goes to the finals.
Hey,
All right.
very good.
Any
very
thoughts
good.
on this, on Tracy's?
It's good. I don't think there's anything wrong with this one. I mean, I don't know if I would change anything artistically. Like the palette's working, the design's working. You got all these different textures and materials kind of working together. I think the only time it hurts it was when it's paired next to a illustration that starts to say something just from the buildings. Like there's no characters in the other one, I don't think, at least that I can see. And it's still doing a lot of storytelling. And I think that's the only reason this lost. It almost looks like production art versus an illustration.
Yeah. Yep. Storytelling always wins. That's true. Cool. Okay. Let's figure out who's actually going to win Critique Arena now. Who is going to win and get paid some money to do an illustration?
Yep.
All right, let me relaunch this. And here we go. Joe versus Chris. Chris Atkins, he's won a couple of these Critique Arenas before, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Name definitely has been up there.
Excuse me. All right. 91%. I'm gonna close it. 92%. Everybody's voting, and
Oh, the Victorian
Chris
badge.
takes
We
it.
have a winner.
Right. Okay, what if anything would you do here, Lee? I look at this and I think maybe it just needs, you know what, there's nothing. Once you're at this point, it just comes down to like which one tells,
Yeah,
I
it's
guess,
it's just a preference between the two. It's
Yeah.
there's no thing that needs to be fixed.
yeah, really cool design. So good job, Joe. All right, let's do Ian versus Mag. I honestly have no idea who's going to win this one here.
Good battle. This will
Sometimes
be
you
a
can
good
kind of
battle.
tell, but this one, do not know. So good
I
luck.
will say this: a little bit of trivia for you guys while you're filling out your poll. So these houses, like the one on the left, are called holdout houses, and there's a bunch of them in New York, and maybe some other northeastern cities where the owner of a house wouldn't sell, but everybody else did, and all these skyscrapers go up. And so these houses do exist. It's not
Remember-
pure fantasy.
Remember Batteries Not Included?
Mm-mm.
Did you ever see that movie?
No.
It's from like 1985 or something.
Okay.
But there's a diner, and it's like an apartment / diner, and the whole thing is about saving this diner from, this corporate firm that wants to build skyscrapers, and little aliens help this diner. It's
So
cool.
it's a true
fun.
story.
Yeah, true story. Okay, this is so close. I almost want to say we have 3 winners, but it did lean one direction.
Oh wow, that is close.
Yeah, 4 votes.
Close.
4
Interesting.
votes. Ah, man, that's a heartbreaker. Sorry, Mag. But
Yeah.
again, this is so good,
I mean, look at the ones that always advance. It's always the one with more interesting of a design and silhouette. I mean, you got
Yeah.
an upside down boat for a porch. That's going to win in my book.
Yeah, look at these 2 winners here.
I mean, it's a great learning lesson. These are
Right.
expertly designed.
Yeah. If you didn't win, or if you didn't even make it to the top 16, hold yours up to these 2 and try to figure out, well, what could I have done to compete with this? It's always good to just compare your art to other people's art. Mag, I love this. Put this in your portfolio, share it on Instagram. This is just great stuff, and an art director is going to love seeing something like this,
Pro quality.
So that's cool. All right. That was Critique Arena number 20. What was it? I forget. I don't even have Critique Arena up here. 20 something, 25, 26,
27.
27. That's right. And thank you for joining us, everybody. Again, this was just a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a good time. And someone asked, did we have an honorable mention? Yeah, let me pull out an honorable
Hey,
mention.
we're a little behind on getting this month's contest up and running. That will be up soon. Today.
So
Jake?
I only had one other honorable mention, and it's Julia's. And I liked this idea of a house on a hill, a windy hill. And so it's like a windmill. This is a great concept. I ultimately had to go with another one instead of this one, just because the colors got a little muddy and a little dark. But concept wise, really good.
Yeah, it's cool.
So good job. All right, we're gonna end it here. Thank you, everybody, and we'll catch you next month. Bye.
Hi, guys.